r/AskReddit. What is the wittiest comeback you have ever heard? Reading through a fight between some friends of friends on FB. A girl says taken, but not appreciated in response to being given some advice about something. Someone responds with, "I didn't ask for the title of your autobiography." One of the only times I've audibly gasped at something I've read on the internet. I'm wishing. If you're saying that the joke went over your head, the person was implying that the other girl had a partner taken, but wasn't appreciated by that partner. Unless of course I'm the one who missed your joke, and it's going over my head. To which I reply, nothing goes over my head. My reflexes are too fast. I would catch it. I have an in-law who eats keto and used it to lose a ton of weight. One of his very overweight cousins took it upon himself to tell him that his diet would send him to an early grave. His response? Yeah. But at least they'll be able to carry my coffin. You-oh. Who-oh. Girl 1. I'm French Canadian, so I can drink a lot. Girl 2. I'm Irish, so I can drink more than you. Girl 1. Yeah. But I can stop. Damn, I might need a pint to get over that insult. Coworker called Lead. Lead was on speakerphone. Coworker notified us he's coming in for work a little late. They were trying to have a baby and his wife thought that they needed to be a day they tried based on her cycle and all that. Lead says, "Fine name. We don't mind you showing up 30 seconds late. Good luck." Crew died laughing. At first I read it as Lead not Lead. Edit, I'm honored. At first I read read as read not read. My conservative Mormon mother decides to talk to me for the first time about X, 17 at the time. She places 2 slices of chocolate cake, beautifully decorated, from a nice bakery. "Now daughter, this is you with your virginity." She then squashes 1 slice of cake with her hand. "And this is you without your virginity. What slice of cake would you rather give to your future husband? For time and all eternity?" I look back and forth between the cakes. But, Mom, they taste the same. My older sister still loves to bring this up. It may be a funnier story when told out loud, though. My conservative Mormon father decides to talk to me for the first time about X, 17 at the time. He places a slice of chocolate cake, beautifully decorated from a nice bakery. "Now son, this is your wife's virginity." He then squashes the slice of cake with his hand. "And this is her without her virginity. Would you still eat this slice of cake for time and all eternity?" I look at the cake, but dad, cake is cake. We both laughed, and he produced a whole cake that was sliced into many pieces and said it doesn't matter if one is smashed to pieces because you can have as many slices as you like. Edit, my first gold. Thanks stranger. God damn it, now I just want cake. One time my boss was up on stage for a meeting and was explaining some issues FedEx was facing with shipment times and that we'll need to adjust our shipping meters. So this one especially outspoken individual raised his hand and asked, "So UHH, like, when are things going to be like they should be?" To which my boss responded, "I don't know. When are you going to be like you were in your interview?" Whole place went nuts. Fuck. That would make me super insecure about my job. Like, I'm that guy who's bad at his job that no one has the heart to tell. I was that guy when I got fired. The boss basically told me I was nothing like who I was at my interview. That hurt bad. A girl at work had to get glasses and one of our regulars comes in and says, "Oh man, you should take those off, you look way better without them." And she goes, "Yeah, you look way better without them too." I thought that was pretty clever. People are hit. Who would dream that this is okay to say to another person? Well done to your coworker on the comeback. People are hit. Yeah. Work retail on weekends. Chubby insecure girl cashiering while I bag. Guy comes through with cake and girl says, "Oh yummy." Guy goes, "Yeah, you don't need it." We were both so shocked we didn't say anything, and she was so heartbroken. Makes my heart race every time I think about it. The one misspaced Tom gave a few years ago was pretty good. He defended Instagram or Twitter and someone replied with, says the guy who couldn't keep Misspace going. Which he follows up with, says the guy who sold Misspace in 2005 for $580 million while you slave away hoping for a half day off. From James Blunt's Twitter feed, where he gets a lot of haters. Hater, James Blunt is the worst singer of his generation. James, he's also mortgage free. He has some utter gold. Like. Hater, James Blunt is playing in the gym. This is unacceptable. Blunt, I'm not playing. This is a serious workout. Dude cracks me up. Stewardess, would you care for an orange juice? Carl Barron, if it needed me. I was at a restaurant and the waitress came over after we were done eating and said, do you want a box for that? And he said, I don't think we need to fight. You can have it. Had a really witty teacher for my game design class. The vice principal hated him for whatever reason. One day we were all studiously working with our headphones on programming away while our teacher was up front reading a book. Very available and approachable if we had any questions. Then the VP walks in the room. VP, Mr. Teacher. It has come to my attention that you have absolutely no control over this class. This is unacceptable. Teacher gives him a fairly nonchalant stare. Coolly and calmly places his book down and claps his hands loudly 3 times, which was his very effective way of getting our attention while listening to music. Mind you, the following occurred without us knowing why the VP was there or what he had said. Teacher, okay class, listen up. I have an exercise for you. This'll only take a few moments. First and foremost, everybody stand up. We all stood up in near unison very quickly. Teacher, good. Now I want all of you to leave the room and stand outside in the hallway, and no matter what this guy says, as he points his finger at VP, do not come back in the room until I say so. Okay, go. We all exit the room, a little intrigued by what was going on. Teacher, okay VP. Bring them back in the classroom. We didn't budge. To this day, that is one of my favorite stories to tell. Knowledge is power. Seize him. Cut his throat. Wait. I've changed my mind. Let him go. Step back 3 paces. Turn around. Close your eyes. Power is power. I feel like that was Cersei, but I can't remember. Friend's mother was hitting on her for not eating her peas. There are starving children in Africa. Friend slouched down in her chair, narrowed her eyes and said, name them. Bratty. Yet hilarious. This is the stupidest thing ever when parents say that. There's starving children in your own community that we need to worry about too. Entertainingly, this happened in South Africa, so the in Africa part was a bit redundant. But I guess she was referring to Kenya and Uganda and the likes. Perhaps even more stupid. Once asked a middle-aged woman to borrow her pen on the train. Me, may I please borrow you pen? Ma'am? Woman, excuse me, don't call me ma'am. Don't you know how offensive that is to say to a woman? Me, my apologies, sir. In what culture is it insensitive and wrong to call a woman ma'am? I think some women feel that the word ma'am is reserved for women that are perceived as being elderly. I was at a bar when a guy said to a stranger, you know, smoking kills. The stranger replies, you know my grandma lived to the age 101. Guy goes, smoking? Stranger immediately replies with minding her own ducking business. Didn't know r/jokes was a bar. Have to go there at some point. It's a good joke though. Upvoted. How can you celebrate Christmas if you're not a Christian? How can you celebrate Valentine's Day when no one loves you? Joke's on you. I don't. D. Open bracket. My fire team partner in the army. New sergeant, where are you from? Private Brown. PTE Brown, Red Deer, Alberta. New sergeant, I heard there is nothing but steers and queers there. PTE Brown, where are you from? Sergeant? New sergeant, my mother's pussy. PTE Brown, I'll have to visit sometime. That guy had to do 100 push-ups under a minute. No, see, sergeants have many more devious ways to re-educate their subordinates. 100 push-ups is like day one stuff. I saw one guy who was forced to mow the lawn with a pair of scissors. Heard of another guy who was forced to rake the gravel every morning for an hour before PT to get it nice and even for muster. Then after PT he had to make it even again. Then there's the old standbys of mopping up the rain, sweeping up the gravel road, motivating rocks, watering the local MP vehicles so they grow nice and strong, etc. PPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPP Talking hit on my brother for being tall, 6 feet 4 inches, for some reason. Saying stuff like, oh big tall man over here, look at you, aren't you special, etc. My brother responded with, dude, I was your height. It wasn't that great. Met a pretty tall girl at the bar once. Thought of something witty to say, and the first thing out of my mouth was, wow, you're tall. Do you play volleyball? To which she replied, no. Do you play mini putt? I'm 5 minutes and 10 seconds. Mini putt. I've heard mini golf. I've heard putt putt. My buddy and I were hanging out with a good looking girl. He had a new hat. She reached up, touched it, and asked is it felt. He responded it is now. He is far wittier than me. In my bartending days, some dude asked me is that shirt felt? Would you like it to be? My mom used to work at a craft store and she had an old man walk up to her once and ask, excuse me miss, where can my wife get felt? Somehow managing to keep her composure she told him, and he yells across the store to his wife Kathy, you can get felt in aisle 3. She remembers that day fondly. Private Hudson, hey Vasquez. Have you ever been mistaken for a man? Private Vasquez, no. Have you? Private Hudson, somebody said alien, she thought they said illegal alien and signed up. Fun fact, this was a reference to a mistake Vasquez's actress actually made. She saw the title Aliens and assumed it was a movie about illegal Mexican immigrants and showed up for her audition dressed as such. Just read this in another thread in AskReddit. When someone says, oh kids will be kids, or boys will be boys, when their kids are acting up just respond with parents should be parents. I saw one of these on another thread a while back where the parent of the shrieking kid says, oh well you must not have children. You wouldn't understand. Dude replies, yeah right, don't have a pilot's license either, but when I see a helicopter stuck in a tree I know someone ducked up. Carl, an old pervert to a hot woman, hey Jerly, why don't you come sit on my lap and we'll talk about the first thing that comes up. Hot young lady to Carl, Carl, if I sit on your lap, the first thing to come up will be my lunch. Another good one, old bean, sorry, Carl, I don't like small talk. Didn't hear this one. I read it in another post. In a high school classroom, one of the popular girls was picking on one of the quiet guys. The teacher chimed in, saying you should be nice to him. He might be your boss one day. The guy responded with no. I don't plan on becoming a pimp. That joke is so old I'm pretty sure that kid grew up to be Albert Einstein. $100% true story. One time my girlfriend asked me what I wanted to do. Being a rude animal. I said it starts with an F and ends with an uck. Without even looking up from her magazine she said find your lost hockey puck. Not the wittiest thing by itself, but it was quick. Finger a duck. That's disgusting. Finance a truck. Finger a duck. Paging/use/ducks with ducks. Overheard two friends ragging each other yesterday. Friend 1, I'm Xer than you by a mile. Friend 2, yeah if you're standing a mile away. My French teacher used to describe ugly women as pretty from far but far from pretty. Belle de loin mace loin d'etre belle. Why does everyone always hate my girlfriend right when they meet her? It saves time. Savage AF. Guy, my peen should have a choking hazard sticker on it. Girl, they only put those stickers on small things. And they only really apply to kids under 3. He basically said he has a tiny peen that is a danger to children. The best one I've ever heard involves Bono from U2. He was performing a concert and after a song asked the entire audience to be quiet. He started to clap his hands and after about 10 claps he said, every time I clap my hands a child in Africa dies. Dead silent in the audience as someone yells, then stop clapping your hands. Ha 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 ha. Every 10 minutes, a woman gives birth. Oh my god. Someone needs to stop her. I had a very witty teacher in high school. Definitely my favorite guy. One day in class a girl was making a big deal about having to use the restroom 2 minutes after class had started. So after arguing he finally let her go. She comes back to class 15 minutes later. disrupting the entire class by yelling, "Oh my god, you'll never guess what just happened," in the hallway, and started going on about something stupid. Meanwhile, my teacher is just staring at her for rudely interrupting his lecture and disrupting the class. She stops mid-sentence and says to the teacher, "Why are you staring at me?" And without missing a beat he replies, "Why do people go to the zoo?" I couldn't help but burst out laughing, mostly because I dislike that girl, but it was a great moment. You don't stuck with a 54-year-old woman. What's your daughter have to do with this? Al Bundy? Me dealing with a pissed off, runk, snobby customer when I was 19 and worked at grocery store seafood counter. But holy hell does it feel good that I'm thought of in such legendary regard. Ducking like and subscribe.